Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it.
Greetings, Algo artisans. Today is Monday, June 1st, and it is 7:11 p.m. EST. We're going to go through some of the trades that I see today on the NASDAQ, Bitcoin, EURUSD, USDCAD, AUDUSD, gold, and silver. Before we get into that forecasting and those possible trades, go ahead and take a look in the description. There is a freebie in there for you. There's a free algorithm. I built it for you. The algorithm is the engine to an agentic trading bot. So if you want to build this whole new AI agentic trading bot, you're going to have to start with an algorithm. We teach you how to build that, and the video in the description shows you how I build a simple one, how I turn it into code using AI, and then I show you some of the tools traders use to connect that to their broker so it can trade for them when they're not even sitting at the computer. Now, you will have to optimize that code before you plug it into your broker, and we teach you how to do that at algofactory.tech. Also, like and subscribe. 60% of you guys just watch it and you don't like or subscribe, so please do those things. Helps us out in a big way. Now, before we get into the charts, we're going to take a look at the news coming up this week as far as what can move those charts around, and that's over at forexfactory.com. So that's Monday, which is over. Tomorrow is Tuesday at 10 a.m. EST. We have Bank of England Governor Bailey speaks. We don't know what he's going to talk about, but that can move around the British pound and pound-related markets such as the FTSE. We have 9:30 p.m. Australian GDP quarter over quarter that can move the Aussie or any Aussie-related markets. Wednesday, June 3rd, 4:30 a.m. New York time, we have Bank of Japan Governor Ueda speaks, and that might be a bigger event than people think. Eyes are on them. I believe the Bank of Japan does its rate decision next week, and price is getting up to that 160 yen per dollar level. That is when we usually see interventions from Japan in a big way. 8:15 a.m. EST, that's Wednesday, non-farm employment change. We have also the ISM services data, and that comes at 10 a.m. EST. So these are items that can move the price around in U.S.-related markets, dollar, the stock market, such things. We have at 1 a.m. EST, World Bank of Australia Governor Bullock speaks. That can move the Aussie or Aussie-related markets. Thursday, 11:40 a.m. EST, Governor Bailey speaks again. We don't know what's going on with the BOE right now, but that can move the British markets around, the FTSE, the pound, such things. Friday, we have employment data coming from Canada and the US, and that's going to come at 8:30 a.m. EST, so keep an eye on that. That's the end of the news this week. Of course, we did have our Monday typical headline crunch where you have some bad news over the weekend about Iran deal, and then Trump comes and gives us quote-unquote good news about it, and the markets moved around. We predicted that pretty well over at Algo Factory, and that has helped us either remain profitable or become more profitable, right? It helps us not to lose and to win more. So let's go ahead and take a look at the charts and the trades I'm looking at this week, and we'll start with the NASDAQ. So I do expect to pull back. It's actually happening right now, but I expect it to pull back a little bit further. The two levels where price might pull back to are these blue lines right here. We have one at 30,400. Then we have another one just below that sitting at 30,300. And price could bounce off of either of these, and I would be comfortable looking for a long if price went to the lower of the two right here at 30,400. It's a spot where price dug down to right as it was initially pulling back, and we got a new high out of it. So if price made its way down there, I'd look for a possible long. Could take a long a little bit higher than that. Just have to have the algos agree to it. We have some higher time frame targets of this blue line right here, which is at 30,830 or so. I could take profit on that long a little bit lower at the all-time high just from the other day, and that's at 30,600. Higher time frame target for the top side would be at about 31,420. Now, I'd say that that might not happen this week, but you know what? This market really moves right now. NASDAQ just keeps going up, and we could see it go that high, so we have to keep our eye on that. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin waterfalling down, and I expect downside breakout, but I could be wrong. We have two possibilities as price comes to this critical level, which that level is this blue line at 70,500. As price comes there, is going to do one of three things. It might kind of go sideways a little bit, but if it doesn't, and even if it does, eventually it's either going to go up or down. And the two possible trades would be taking a long just above that. Once the algos say I can, I would probably be out of that long right at this level of about 73,000 or so, or could see a breakout short to the downside. So what might that look like is price could break out downside, and I'd be out of that by about 68,000, maybe above that too. So those are some pretty basic moves. Just depends on which way price goes. Now, price can always play along around this line to draw in some traders. So if you're going to take this trade, you have to really be careful and have your algos tell you which way to go on that. And I will be doing so in the Algo Factory room. We did have a nice win on Bitcoin this last week, taking profit. I think today it took profit just in the last few hours, or it's just about to. So continuation of that winning will happen, ideally. Let's take a look at EURUSD. I expect this to be choppy, and it may remain most likely between two levels. Top level will be 116.87, this upper bound. Lower level is a little messy, but the local lower level is 116.06. And then the level below that's going to be 115.87, and then a much deeper, stronger support sitting at 115.76. And I'd be happy to take a long or short at any of these levels. For the moment, it does appear the price will chop around up in this area, though. So if price makes its way to this upper level, I can take a short right there. If it makes its way down to any of these lower levels, I can take a long. The deeper the move, the more confident I am in that long, but it's all about what the algos tell me to do. Let's look at USDCAD. I think what we'll see is price head up a little bit higher, and we're going to have an upper bound sitting right about 138.71. Okay. Now, as price bounces off of that, we might see a nice short, and I would take that short down to roughly level of, I'd say, about 137.93. If price breaks up to the top side, then what we're looking at is a possible move, a breakout to the top side, and then I'd be out of that trade by about 139.33 top side. Those are the two basic moves, and of course, price can play around at that critical level like we talked about on other charts. In this particular chart, it's 138.72 for the USDCAD. Had some good volatility in this pair, made some money on this pair lately, so I'm going to continue to have an eye on it while the JPY pairs are in their bit of peril, if you will, trader's peril, right? Just don't know when they're going to intervene in the JPY markets. Let's take a look at AUDUSD. Now, this particular market is just like a lot of markets right now. It's range bound. I expect range bound behavior for at least another week. It might start to heat up after next week when the Bank of Japan does make their rate decision. I believe that's next week. Whenever that is, that's when I expect the change. Could happen sooner. But we have a pretty simple plan here. We have an upper bound, and that's sitting at 72.02, lower bound sitting at 70.96, and then a second lower level at 70.80. And I would be fine taking a short at the top of this or a long towards the bottom of that. And that's a nice simple plan. Let's take a look at gold. Gold and silver both range bound. We have a similar scenario with this critical level sitting right at 44.90 or so. Price could go ahead and bounce there. Take a long, I might, and take a short at the top, I might, which that top level here is sitting at 45.97. So that's the possibility there. If I see a downside breakout, then I might short it down all the way to about 43.74, take that long, and take that long all the way up at about 44.60, right? So that's kind of the plan here, just playing within the ranges for now because the volatility is rather low, and understanding that I probably have to manage these trades pretty closely, provided the news cycle being so crazy as it is. Let's take a look at silver. I'd say with silver, I would look for ideally a bounce again off of 73.16, and it would have to be a real bounce. I'd have to make it all the way down there and have to show a bounce to take a long. Otherwise, I'd wait for price to move up to this top level, which is at about 79. I'd take a short at 79 and be happy to ride that all the way down to roughly 73.68. That being said, this is what we do. We predict where price is going to go, when it's going to get there, and we extract money from these moves. We have a probabilistic model. We win something like anywhere from 60 to 70% of the time, depending on what algo people are choosing to use. And we also are able to win more than we lose whenever we win. And that is how we remain profitable. We teach you how to do all of this. As a matter of fact, if you want a preview, take a look in the description. There is a link in there. If you click on that link, you will be able to see me build an algo. It's a quick video. It's a very simple algo. I show you how to turn it into code. You do have to optimize it before you attach it to a broker, but that algorithm is the engine to your agentic AI trading bot. I know everybody wants to do agentic AI trading bots. They want the computer to do the work for them. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, if that was that simple, everybody would be walking around rich, and it just is not that simple. But if you spend a little bit of time learning how to build an algo, that can be the engine, and AI can pretty much do the rest for you. I know that sounds wild, but the reality is this takes time. It takes a little time. You got to learn how to do it. Otherwise, you're going to do like a lot of people and try to go and gamble and lose. We teach you how not to do that. We teach you how not to gamble and lose. We teach you how traders really trade. We're live 8:30 a.m. EST, Tuesday through Thursday. I take a look a little bit closer at the charts, take a look at what trades and what happened that day. For about the first 10 or 15 minutes, that's free for everybody on YouTube to see. And then the next 50 minutes or so is for our private clients only. And they get to ask me what they think this chart's going to do, what they think that chart is going to do. And I'll show them what I think the charts I like are going to do and what trades I might be taking that day. And we are rigging it in, let me tell you. So come on over, algofactory.tech, learn how to trade like a hedge fund pro. We will see you 8:30 a.m. EST Tuesday morning tomorrow sharp. Thanks for watching.